Welcome back, Shop Rats. Today we got a little project we're doing for a future project that we're going to be sharing with you. So we'll get into that in just a minute. We also have a package from a viewer that we want to open. So somewhere in the midst of this episode, we're going to do that. It's going to be a fun day. Let's spend the day together here in the shop working on what I'm working on today. I'm Mike.
This is My Cars Shop.
That wasn't so painful now, was it? So what we have here is an oil pump off of a Slant 6 that we need to check out and go through and see what's going on with it and get it cleaned up if possible and make it function for a future project that you're going to be seeing here on the channel at some point. I wished I would have thought to get a cookie sheet. If I'd have been really thinking, I would have brought Becky's toothbrush out from the bathroom. That was a mistake. I'll go get it. She won't mind, as long as we clean it up and put it back. What she always says.
I'm going to use something that's hers. Just clean it up and put it back when I'm done. So I think that makes sense.
Let's see what can be put down here to minimize our impact. If I would have thought of it, I would have stopped at Walmart and picked up a cookie sheet, just like the one we put under the valve grinder. This is the from the 2-pack of oil pans that I bought for the valve grinder. So I think this is going to work at least to clean the parts up. We'll use a little diesel fuel and that kind of stuff to get it cleaned up here in a bit, or some kerosene, or there'll be some kind of liquid we'll use. Won't be gasoline, because gasoline is not safe. There's our part number right there. So we want to go through and just kind of, scrape off all of the road gravy that's on this thing and get her cleaned up so we can start tearing it apart. But it's a good idea to get all this crap off of here so that you don't get that crap in there. This is going to take a while, so I'll work away at it. And if I have something important to talk about, I'll get you back. Otherwise, just, go grab a cold beverage or something and sit down and we'll visit. All right, we've got a bunch of the gravy off of it now, and I took it over to the vise to figure I was going to be fighting to get this oil filter off. And believe it or not, I was able to remove it by hand. Somebody actually put it on there properly and didn't over torque it and over tighten it. So that's good. The motor this came out of was blown up, so we have to obviously be concerned about that. That's why I want to take this thing all apart and get it all cleaned up and see what we have. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll take it back over to the vise, and we'll take the oil pressure sending unit off, and then I think we'll be just about to the point of being able to take the cover off. It doesn't turn all the way. There's something stuck in it, so we got to figure that out. But the drive gear's good, so that means the pump didn't quit, and that's not the reason why the motor blew. There we go. Got that loose. So we'll go ahead and throw that in there. And do I want to blush? Do I want to give this a quick bath with something first, or do I want to just go ahead and take it apart and then clean it? I guess either way it's going to get dirt down in it, and it is fairly clean. So let's go ahead and we'll buzz our 5 7/16 bolts out so we can get a good idea what's going on in here, why this doesn't turn all the way. Oh, it just turned further. The other thing we need to check is the check valve. Working on an oil pump, obviously you want to be more conscious of cleanliness because, around here,
Cleanliness is next to impossible.
don't get me wrong, we can do clean stuff if we have to, but it's got to be done. Got our pan cleaned out, got our surface all cleaned up. So I got the bolts all loose, took it over to the vise with a wrench.
MKS did it in the vise with the wrench.
Let's see what we got going on inside of here. Oh, there she goes. Okay. So why does she only spin so far? There's something in that one gear set right there. This one. I'll take you over here and show you. So if you watch this gear set, right now it's stuck. I can't turn it any further this way. It's stuck. But it'll come around. And that same gear set, watch that, is going to come around. And as soon as it rolls into that, it sticks again. Now it's not the same lobe out here because it's vacillating between this lobe here and this lobe here on that rotation because it's a 4-lobe vein and a 5-lobe outer whatever. So it's interesting. This should pop off there. So let's pull this apart and we'll see what we got going on here. Okay, let's get the outer housing off and see what we got there. This should come out of there easier. Yep, there she goes. Whoops, she fell back in on me. There we go. And which lobe was it again? Let's double check. This one right here. Okay, so let me make a scratch on that so I can analyze that thoroughly. Okay, sort of a scratch. Now we can get that outer part of the roller vane out of there, or not roller vane, but the rotor set, gear set. Oh, there's all kinds of debris and dirt in there and rust, so that could be part of it. I don't know why it's not coming off of. Oh yes, I do. That's a press fit. That's right. I don't want to take that out of there because that's pressed onto that shaft. So as long as I can get that outer off, I can clean all of this up. And where's the one with the scratches? Really need better light here. Let me go get a light. All right, give her a little scrub-a-dub-dub here. Blow it all out real good when we get further along. We also need to check the check valve, make sure it's not stuck. That's a common problem. They can stick closed so that they overpressure, or they can stick open so they have zero pressure. So either way is a problem. And that is a common problem, especially on a slant 6. I don't know why, but it is. Should have paid some attention as to far as which. There we go. Good. So it was in the outer rotor, not in the inner lobial thing. It's still gritty and dirty. We got a lot of cleaning to do, but we're getting there. So I'm going to get rid of this solvent. We'll get some fresh solvent, and we'll give this another bath. Now, the only thing I want to do is pop the check valve out and make sure that it's good and free and clean inside of there. I've got the rest of it cleaned up. We'll spray it down with some carb clean real good, and then we'll reassemble it with some nice heavy oil. It's not perfect, but good enough for what we're doing here. So and it'll still clean up more once I blow it off real good. So let's get that over to the vise again. We'll get the, I think that's a 9/16 wrench for that. 5/8, sorry, it wasn't 9/16. Okay, there's our goopity goppeter, and there should be a little pintle up in there that moves back and forth, and it is moving. That's good. Getting it out of there may be a bit of a thrill, but we'll get it. There it goes. It's falling right out. There we go. And it goes in with the slots forward. Okay. So let's get that cleaned up inside of there. So that means our pressure relief valve on this pump is working. It's not stuck. So that's good. Okay. I spent a whole bunch more time cleaning stuff up. I've got the gear set back in it now. I'm just going to run oil all over everything. Make sure that we're copacetic and not so pathetic. Feels good. Oh, does feel dry on the bottom side there, but it's getting there. Okay, there we go. Okay, very good. Let's get the cover back on. With an oil pump, obviously, you got to be real concerned about dirt, because not only can you ruin the pump with the dirt, but you can also pump that dirt into the engine and ruin bearings. So it's multiplicative.
That's a big word, like gymnasium.
The last thing to do will be to put the oil filter on it and put the oil pressure sending unit on it, but I'm going to wait so that I have more wiggle room when I go to install this on the vehicle, which won't be today. Today was about going through the pump. So there was rust in the outer rotor, or in the outer vane lobial thing. I should know the name of that. I used to build these things for years. But anyway, um, the other thing that concerns me is I've looked around, and I'm going to get online one more time. I can't get this gasket. I bought some gasket material. It was the thinnest I could get. I figured it was too thick, but I thought I would try it, and it's too thick. So I do need to scrape this gasket off of here real quick, which I probably should have done before. But I'm just going to go ahead and stuff some rags, clean rags down in there. We'll scrape that gasket off. And what I may end up doing on this, we'll see when we go to install it. You'll see in that episode, is run some anaerobic sealer in there. I don't want to use too thick a gasket because of the pressure. It could blow that gasket out of there. So I think we're probably would be okay without a gasket, especially if we use a little anaerobic, but I don't know. I'd like to try to get one, but every place I went today, they were on back order and nobody has one. So either I will have to come up with some thinner gasket material. I don't want to use something like brown paper bag or cardboard. Not for this one because it is oil pressure. So that's where we're at. All right, let's set this aside and what you've been waiting for. Let's get the package over here. So this came from South Carolina from channel viewer John, and he said something about stuff that he finds handy in the shop. I believe was his words. Hope I got that right, buddy. So we're going to go ahead and see what he sent us. Ah, very cool. Sent me some gloves. These will be handy, definitely. Well, thanks, John. I really appreciate that. There's a whole bunch of those. Excellent. Most excellent. I will put those in my gloves drawer. And he sent us some, what's this? Universal sealing compound. Okay, what is it for? Is it just like a gasket material, John? Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. Maybe we'll use this on the oil pump. I'll read more into this. There is a QR code here. I can learn more about it. Yep, it's a gasket maker, definitely. So this may work a very thin layer on that. So that's very cool. Thanks, buddy. And he sent me, good, because I used up my last one, Walter Flex Cut. These are awesome, and I appreciate that. We'll put these right up here on the wall of fame. Like I said, I've got one here somewhere that's just about done, and these are super handy, but these are really nice gloves, Grease Monkey gloves. Very, very cool. So thanks, John. I appreciate it. We will put this stuff to work on the channel. Well, that's a good job done. A few hours in the shop today. Scrub, scrub, clean, clean. I think that pump is going to be good to go for the project when we get to that. So that's one piece in that puzzle that I can set aside. And that's really what this is about, is taking little bites. It's, okay, I don't have a ton of time today. I had a few hours. What's something that I can accomplish? And of course, I like sharing that with you. Come on, guys, let's be in the shop. Let's spend some time together. Let's talk it through. Let's share what I'm doing. I share that much detail for those that are new and don't know. I share this much detail to give you an idea that we can get super overwhelmed with a project or multiple projects. And it's really hard to feel like we can make any progress. But if we break things down into little bite-sized pieces, I don't need that until this coming weekend, which today is, it's Monday afternoon. Today's Tuesday afternoon, so it's late afternoon on Tuesday, and I didn't have a lot of time. I've got other things I have to get done around here yet, but that's a bite out of that one specific project that's coming, that's ready when I get to it, so that I don't have to hold back. I can just dive in and get her done. We have 10, 12 projects that we're working on, and this is how we move forward on every single project. Is we just take a little bite, a little bite, a little bite, a little bite, and before long we have eaten the whole elephant. All right, that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you being here. Like, subscribe, please share. By the time you see this, we should be over 2,000 subs and well over 500 episodes on the channel. I'm just thrilled to see the way things are growing. Keep sharing it with other people. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all you do to make this possible for me. And there's a whole bunch of cool stuff coming, including a full-length movie coming this fall. So stick around. By the time you see this, this will be early September. The movie should be coming out late September, early October, if the planets align. Later.
Rock!